Hi, why are artists and creatives more susceptible to mental health issues? This is what we're going to be looking at in this episode of Mindful Women. And no, it's not just about women, it's about everything that concerns humanity and life. My name is Zoe, and thank you so much for joining in. I hope you stay with me to the end. So, artists and creatives look like they're more susceptible or more prone to mental health issues, and it's one of two reasons. Either it's because wao ndio tunajua, like you see, they're in the limelight, they're in the spotlight. So when an artist is going through mental health issues, of course you're gonna know about it because they're in the limelight. That's the first reason, probably. And then there's a second reason, and that is like there is something about artists and creatives that leads them towards mental health issues. So there's something I want us to look at. There's this philosopher, an ancient great philosopher, Greek philosopher called Plato. Plato is a great theorist, and his main theory was about the theory of forms. He's like saying that the life we live in, this physical life, we have more to life than just the physical world we exist in. Like, in other words, we can say he believed in a spiritual sense. Like, there is more to life, more than what we see here. So this guy says that, I want to read you this quote. He said that madness comes from God, whereas sober sense is merely human. Ile kitu tunataka kusema ni ukiwa sober wewe uko normal, ukiwa mad uko blessed. So that was the idea of this guy, and this is what he's trying to say. According to science, the brain acts in the same way when someone is being creative as the way it acts when someone is crazy, like mentally not okay. Scientifically, madness and creativity is on the same spectrum. Like, madness is on one side and creativity is on one side. That's also to say, like, unaona ile vitu tunasemaga by spectrum, I mean like kama ka scale. So ni kama creativity is just a light form of madness. Sijui kama ushaisikiza song ama ushaiangalia art flani, painting, or anyone being creative with anything, even in business, and you're thinking, mtu alitoa hiyo idea wapi? It's because it's, according to science, it's on the same spectrum of madness. So on the extreme side, it's madness, but on the lower, in smaller doses, that is what will be called creativity, right? So the problem is here. I'm trying to support the second part. Of course, there is the first reason we said that artists are in the spotlight, so we know what they are going through, of course. But there is this second reason, and I hope artists are also watching. Wasanii uko nje, mnisikize vizuri. You guys are more prone, so you need to make sure you take care of yourself. And by artists, I don't mean music and acting and photography and all that. Everyone is creative in their own sense. So I know this is going to be helpful to everyone who is watching this. Now, what we're trying to say is this. If you don't take care of yourself and you give yourself huge doses of that thing, creativity, you're likely to end up on the bad side. How does depression come through? There is something we call ruminating on negativity. Ruminating, sijui kama mnajua ruminants. In school we learned about ruminants. It's like cows that they chew cud, wanameza alafu wanarudisha kuchew. So that word ruminating comes from ruminants, and actually, or rather maybe ruminants, we got that word from the action of ruminating. And that's how depression comes through. You end up ruminating on negativity. You ruminate on negativity sana. If like you had 10 successful events and then you had one unsuccessful event, you tend to now focus more on the negative one, unakaa ukishindwa, sasa hapo mbona sikufanya poa, you know, why did I fail? But you're not reminding yourself that you need to ruminate on the positivity, so that when you feed yourself on positivity enough times, you'll now be finding yourself to create motivation for yourself. But now when you ruminate on negativity, depression ndio inaanza kukuja. Now that is called neurotic thinking. Neurotic thinking is just like unafikiria negativity more than unafikiria positivity, and that is the thing that brings about most of the mental health issues. Now, why are we talking about neurotic behavior and ruminating? It's because for anyone who is creative, they have a mind that is creative, that you already saw what you want before you started it. You know the end product of what you had started. So if you don't hit the exact end product, you start feeling like you failed. And that's where we go wrong. This action of ruminating, inaweza fanya, the same way it can bring solutions is the same way it brings problems. So the creativity you can use to look for a solution for a problem is the same creativity that will cause you to create problems in your mind that are imaginary, and then start causing you to be depressed. Kumbe ni creativity inakusumbua. Na sio wewe, it's just how you are wired, because you're a creative. Now, there is a statistic I want to go through here. It is said that about 1,400 Kenyans die by suicide every year, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And some analysts believe that the actual number might be higher. Now, kati ya hao wote wa suicide, you know, I don't know if you've ever thought, you've met people out here, and we're going to talk about, in another episode, we're going to talk about being sensitive, or understand mtu from their own perspective. Because you'll meet someone who will be like, mimi siwezi jua, kwani mimi ni mjinga, kwani mi siwezi. But then you don't understand what happens in the mind of someone by the time they're committing suicide. It's this thing we're talking about, neurotic thinking. You know, the mind is wired. It's a whole nervous system. It's a whole electrolytes and everything. Ni stima yani. So whatever is going through that mind directs what thoughts come from it. So sometimes it's very hard unless you control the thoughts from the beginning. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is the anxiety that neurotic behavior brings about, ndio creatives wanakuwaga nayo. Creatives ako like, sijui kama, let me talk about a musician, since someone unaenda studio uko like, kuna venye nilikuwa nataka kudeliver hii verse but haijakam, and that thing inaweza kukusumbua. Everyone is telling you song ni kali, but for you, you don't feel it a lot. And there are people like, just like last year, we have had cases of someone like Charlie, you know. We have had in the past someone like Avicii. He sang this song, Wake Me Up When It's All Over. So, unashindwa, some people think depression comes from lack of money, but kuna mtu tu ako na pesa, but what is happening? There is this guy called Robin Williams. For people who know him, he was a very good comedian. Alikuwa ameact movie ya comedy inaitwa Mrs. Doubtfire. That guy alichill tu hivyo, and he was laughing with everyone, then suddenly he's gone. And all of those people, unapata hajaji express, because people wanajua, like artists out here, unaona msanii ameng'ara poa. When I say artists, please just relate that I'm talking about what I relate with most, but I already mentioned that all of us are creatives in different ways. So unapata huku nje tunacheka, huku nje tumevaa, nobody knows what you're going through, or you're just silent. Maybe you have your Facebook page, you're posting nice photos, nobody knows what battle you're going through inside. And maybe by the time they're knowing, a lot has already happened, and it's maybe too late. I'd like to highlight a story of something that's currently happening. There is this artist, tulikuwa tunaimba na yeye since uko 2014, Kizobi. Anyone who knows Kizobi, he was a secular artist, Now he became a gospel artist, but then he's been going through a lot. And following his page, I have seen that he has been mentioning watu wamekuwa kimention mzazi William Tuva. I don't know if he's in a position to help, but I really wish that someone can come through for Kizobi. He's not okay. I am a psychologist. I saw his video, and before listening to the first 3 minutes, I would tell this guy is not okay. I didn't even know he was in a cell. The first video, sikuwa najua. Nilikuwa dhani maybe amechill tu mahali. But this guy is not okay. So anyone who is able to help, please reach out to the guy and help. Myself, maybe I've done my part by announcing it here. But now, let's go back to it. We're saying that creatives find themselves disabled by their disorders just as often as they're inspired by it. Iyo creativity, hiyo ndio inaweza fanya sasa ukue overthinker. Na sasa what do we do? What do we do? The part we were talking about, the spectrum of madness. You know, it's so funny, but then when I was thinking about it, nilikuwa nashindwa. I was trying to weigh how right that information is. And I proved that part to be true because kusema ukweli, ukiangalia content ya Njugush, wewe unaona mtu ako sawa kabisa. Ukiangalia Terence creative, are you okay? Are you okay? Can everyone see that that's on a spectrum of some madness? DJ Sadiq, are you okay? Like mtu anapost kitu uko like, this person is not okay in the head. Mamito, hi. Watu wako na creativity ingine, and then you will start wondering, is this person functioning fine? That's creativity, and we love them for that. So whatever we love them for, my request to the public is that kama tunawapendea hiyo, wakati imekuja in high doses, because that's what we feed on from them. Ikikuja in high doses, ianze kuka like a mental sickness. Now please make sure you help them, be there for them. Kuna wakati unapataga ukiwa in the limelight unatukanwa sana. Like this, my Apostle James Mainanganga. He's a creative, of course. And I'd like to send my regards to him, but you can tell something is not so normal with him. He is a creative, doing very well, doing ministry, but there's something that's different with him from other people. I don't want to be very, like, whether I think what side of the opinion I am on. I don't want to go on that. I just know he's a man of God, and I like what he does. So, how can we help our artists? Tutawafanyia nini? So the first thing probably I will say this: I have 3 solutions for healing depression among artists. The first one is self-love. Msanii wacha pressure kabisa. Tunakupenda na hatutaki uende mapema. So ukifeel kama pressure ya public inakuja mob, wewe tulia, take a break, go off. If you need to start a business or if you need to be employed, don't be like, you know, dread zangu zimepakwa inaitwa nini highlight huko chini na kamsanii, you know, siwezi tembea bila chains za gold, but una kitu kwa mfuko. So accept yourself, go work. Kama ni kukua waiter, enda ufanye kazi. Itajipa, kuna siku itajipa, na usiogope. Na tena tutakupenda hivyo. Si ni creativity yako tutapenda. You will not be less creative because you're having a day job. Number 2, from the public. Let us have people support because the time someone is going through that, the least you want, like this TikTok queen, I may go through something and then she has had to go silent and nobody knows what is going on with her, but ananyamaza because akiongea anaweza pata na matusi anytime. But nobody probably knows the exact story. So, can we use that opportunity instead of cyberbullying tuambia usijali, tuko hapa. Si ulitubamba, sasa na sisi tuko hapa, we are giving it for you. Now, the last solution I have for creatives is, and this is the one I recommend most, is submitting that gift to God. God is the one who planted those gifts in us. So, there is a reason why Zoe is not like someone else. Mimi siko kama huyu, na siko kama huyu, yeye hayuko kama mimi. So, the fact that we are different is God's own kind. You see, God created us in his image and in his likeness. We function like him. God is a creative. So the fact that he's a creative, he wants for you to maybe sail smoother. Just submit that gift of yours. Whether you're doing comedy, go submit it to God. Mwambie sasa hapa niko na wewe, because hiyo spectrum hata ya God anaielewa. You know, I also think science belongs to God. Actually, everything belongs to God. I don't put a line between science and spirituality. I have so many ways I can prove that science actually proves that God is. So, submit that gift, submit that talent to God. Wakati inakuwa ngumu sana, and maybe first option did not work, you're trying to give yourself self-love, is not coming. Second option is not working, probably you're being, unatrolliwa kule online. This, that one, I promise you it always works. Go to God, tell him, mimi hivi ndivyo niko. Don't get lost. And don't probably, usiende late, usiende wakati kumewaka. Nurture a relationship with God throughout. Wakati kutawaka, everything will be fine. But I'm going to give a shout out to everyone out there. Thank you so much for staying with me and gaining this knowledge together with me. We'll be walking through beautiful topics and journeys in Mindful Women concerning women, men, the society in general, and everything else. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, like this video and share it to someone. I know someone needs it. And you, in your creative sense, that thing that God has put in you, ako kaidio ka biashara unasikia ni kama ni kadogo. Imagine just go do it. That's your creative sense. Usilalie sio ndogo. You never know how it will come through. Sawa. So, thank you so much for staying in. My name is Zoe. Until next time. Bye-bye.